What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Will is prepared to inform Electra about Luna, but Bill is adamant about his order to abort even when Luna confirms her pregnancy. Lee is furious that Sheila already knows what happened. Katie apologizes for attempting to prevent Will from confessing, and Bill makes Luna take further tests today on Bold and the Beautiful. He gives Luna the order to get an abortion at Bill's. Whether she is pregnant by Will or not, he owes her nothing. For once in her life, he exhorts her to act morally. He insists her take another exam. She has previously falsified results. He has her take one test after another. They all attest to her pregnancy. Luna assures him that she can provide the child with a stable and secure home, something they were never able to have as children. Bill warns her that she exploited his son while he was intoxicated. He maintains that his son thinks she is disgusting. According to Luna, he wasn't present that evening. He doesn't think his son is the father and believes she is straitjacket certifiable. She was probably running around like Poppy, and the saying goes, the apple doesn't fall from the tree. Luna reiterates that she will give birth to Will's child. Bill reiterates that an abortion is necessary for her. She still believes she could be loved by Will. Bill warns her that she is not wanted by his kid. He claims that he has already paid a price for her and that she should reimburse him for her pardon. She should restore his son's life and future with Electra, Bill advises her. Will lashes out at his mother at Forrester, who tells him that Luna mistreated him and that he did nothing wrong. Electra will never trust him again once he tells her that the truth is all that matters. She advises him to wait until they know what happened and tells him that his father would have Luna undergo testing. He can't stop blaming himself, despite his mother's constant advice. Because he wrecked their first time together, he is constantly concerned about how much Electra will despise him. He will tell her everything tonight because she deserves to know the truth. According to Katie, they must devise a strategy. He shouldn't be held accountable for Luna's actions. According to Will, nothing changes as a result. Even though he despises himself, he must tell Electra what transpired. Because he wants to do the right thing, Katie advises him not to apologize. She failed in her attempt to keep him safe. Will is certain that everything will end tonight once he breaks Electra's heart. At the guest house, Electra is preparing Will's belongings. Before she can deliver her order to Magda, Eric interrupts to inform her that the pizza oven is nearly ready. She shares with him the magical evening she has in store for Will. She continues by talking about her unfathomable love for Will and her complete faith in him. According to Eric, this enhances her beauty. She displays the necklace she crafted for Will to him. Like their love, it is straightforward and robust because it is made of titanium. When Will shows up later, Electra kisses him. He assures her that she will always remember his affection for her. She feels incredibly fortunate to have him in her life and has never felt this way before. She has never questioned him, and he is all for her. She is aware that when she made him wait, other men would have given up on her. She sees them together all the time when she looks into his eyes. She says he can tell her everything after giving him another kiss. He claims she is deserving of all she has ever desired. He loves her, but she needs to know about something that happened. Lee tells Sheila at Giardino that Luna deceived Will into having sex. She will suffer the consequences because Bill dragged her away. Lee is disappointed to learn that Sheila doesn't seem to be aware of this. Sheila acknowledges that she was aware of the sex. When Sheila claims they share a unique bond, Lee becomes even more horrified. She acknowledges her mistakes and hopes Luna will grow from them. Well done, grandmother, Lee says. Bill won't want his grandson born in prison, Sheila notes. Lee believes Luna was doomed from the start. She inherited her crazy from Sheila and her sluttiness from her mother. Even though Sheila dislikes the word, she will overlook it for this one time. She smiles and acknowledges that being a Spencer baby is the best way to get out of jail free. On BNB next week, Brooke informs Taylor, even though you are fine, things could change drastically in a heartbeat. You didn't tell me that she was still alive. Sheila, who will be the woman in his life, gets yelled at by Deacon. Luna is adamant about Will, myself, and our child. What a cunning little bitch you are. Bill says Lee should have saved me the bother and let you die. Even though the California sun was still shining on the palm trees outside and the Forrester skyline was glittering in the distance, the foyer of the Spencer household felt colder than usual that afternoon. Inside, where family and loyalty would normally provide sanctuary, there was conspiracy, rage, and an intolerable moral calculus that left everyone who touched it stained. At the center of that storm stood Will Spencer, his shoulders taut, his jaw clenched, practicing words he had never wanted to say but that he knew would change lives, his, Electra's, and the tangled web of blood and history that seemed to bind the Spencers and Forresters together like a phantom. As if a paternal decree could erase the moral complexity of bodies and choices, Bill, who loved him in his bulldog manner and fiercely and cruelly protected him, had made the unassailable, almost biblical demand that she have an abortion and that she have it immediately, at his insistence, in the sanctified privacy of his office if necessary. The scene unfolded with all the blunt force of a courtroom drama and the tender, clumsy soap opera heart drama. The fact that Sheila Sharp, that fiery relative who had forced her way into Lee's precarious new life, had already discovered more than she had been told, that the net of silence surrounding Luna's survival had been woven by women with their own motivations for keeping her hidden, and that Katie Logan, whose maternal instincts were as instinctive as breath, found herself repeatedly apologizing to Will and to Electra for trying to soften the edges of truth rather than insisting on its jaggedness, infuriated Lee Finnegan, who had taken Luna in and kept her secrets. Katie's earlier attempt to stop Will from speaking felt like a betrayal, and she said so in a voice that cracked with certainty and regret. "I am sorry I tried to stop you." She told her son you must tell her, even as Bill yelled that Luna could not be trusted, that her past was an instruction manual for deceit, that every positive pregnancy line she had flashed in the past had been fraudulent theater. She had advised caution because she feared the damage truth could do, but now that she was seeing Luna's chest, heaving with triumphant fear, and Bill's face hard as flint as he issued his edict, Luna, unbowed, complied with his orders because she wanted legitimacy in the face of suspicion, not because she trusted him. She submitted to test after test, and each time the results were the same. The indicators lined up, the little plus signs glowed, and every negative voice in the room was forced, reluctantly, to deal with the possibility that a child, however conceived, although unwanted by some, and reviled by many in that room, was indeed on the way. This was a manipulative tool she had used to subdue men to her will, so he demanded laboratory confirmation. If Luna was really expecting, he reasoned with the cold arithmetic of a patriarch, this was a liability, an untenable risk to Will's future with Electra, and every instinct of his proprietorial love urged him to excise the threat. Bill, a man who measured life in returns and debts and who had already paid an enormous price for his son's mistakes, remained in his position. "You will do the right thing, terminate it," he said to Luna, his voice lacking the warmth the words suggested. "If you love my son." The words came down hard. Arguments broke out all around them. Lee's normally gentle face, which was etched with the pain of a woman who had endured too much, burned with a different kind of pain as she accused Sheila of collusion and secrecy. Sheila, whose moral compass had long skewed toward selfishness when survival demanded it, stood not repentant but calculating, noting aloud, in a tone of ghastly pragmatism, that a Spencer baby could indeed be a get-out-of-jail-free card, an absurd, immoral salve for Luna's predicament, and the idea that her granddaughter's womb might hold the key to freedom. Electra's lover, Will, who had prided himself on doing the right thing and was now ashamed of what had happened when he'd been vulnerable, had every reason to be afraid of Electra's reaction and to tell her the truth. He had decided to do both, to stand in front of the woman he loved and confess the unthinkable, to open the door to whatever consequences would follow. In the meantime, Will's stomach twisted in knots, thinking that, despite the fact that it went both ways, honesty was the way to dignity. Katie was now apologizing for trying to protect him from his responsibilities after pleading with him to wait for tests and to protect Electra's heart until she had more proof. Katie claimed that Electra deserved the truth, no matter how painful it was, and the house held its breath in that debate between ethical transparency and maternal protection. Within this charged calculus, Luna recounted her story once more with manic certainty. The night he had been drunk, she claimed, he was vulnerable, he had been in her arms, he had been kind to her, and the lines on the tests proved it. She described the child as a talisman, something that would bind her to Will and, consequently, to a world that had repeatedly rejected and betrayed her. She insisted on giving the child a stable home. She argued that the baby deserved the opportunity to live and thrive, and that she was not the monster the Spencer family's contemptuous whispers painted her as. But with the brutal authority of a man who thought he could purchase, force, and change the future, Bill sliced through every assertion. He claimed that Luna had previously misled men and that Will had been duped by his intoxication. Electra would never gain trust again. Termination was the easiest and most hygienic solution, not because it was the proper thing to do for Luna, he suggested, but because it would save Will's future and remove the stain from the Spencer name before it could become permanent. "You will demonstrate that you are not attempting to trap my son," he said to a quivering Luna, who had the defiance of someone who has been told no all her life. It was a demand that exposed the power disparities within their clan. Bill had no trouble using his wealth, fame, and family name as weapons, but he had little authority over his conscience or personal autonomy. Will attempted to create an environment where Electra could hear all the facts before a decision regarding Luna's body was made, his face a mask of grief and resolve. He wanted to be the man who spoke the truth, even if it meant losing everything, but the pressure from his father pounded through his gut like an electroshock.